Hey everyone, how's it going? What is up? It is me, Windstalker, and today is August 1st, and it's the day of days to look on Xbox Live to see what free games of awesomeness they have. And today, there was two games that I took interest in. One being a Dungeons and Dragons Everstorm or Ever something. And the other one is one that I've been wanting to play for a very long time. And it was, I think it dropped for like $40. Because I don't think it was actually a $60 game. I think it was like a $40 game, or is now $40. I don't remember how it worked. And that is Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. Yes, I have been wanting to play that game for a very long time, and yeah, and I kept putting it off because I was hoping it would hit the $20 mark, and or I could find it at GameStop for next to nothing. But today, Xbox had it for free. That's right. Metal Gear Solid and the Dungeon and Dragon game were for free. Oh yeah, as in $0, which means awesome. And I have to tell you, in a lot of ways it was a really exciting game and I liked it a lot. I mean, it is a really good game, but as many people have probably said, is relatively short. I mean, if you do like me and run around and, blow stuff up and everything, you can make it last, for quite a long time. Or if you try to go do something and then all of a sudden you, see, I took a really long time to beat this game today. That's because I found the first person, Praz, I think is his name. And then I went to go find the second person, the girl. And I found her, but my patience didn't allow me to do what it is that I needed to do. And I kept triggering bad guys because I was impatient. And kept killing the bad guys. And, well, let's just say that, I didn't figure it out until, a few hours later, just because I kept running around and, trying to perfect my stealth skills and just take out bad guys because I thought it was funny. I didn't realize the trank guns lasted a very long time because some of the guys I stayed trank for almost the entire freaking mission since no one woke them up. And I was like, really? Now that is a heck of a trank gun, or trank dart. But yeah, I mean, the graphics look really good on this game. I like how the rain hits the ground and it looks like a really hard rain, where when the raindrops hit, they kind of bounce upward to give you that. I liked how, when you're wet, you're wet. That was really cool. I'm sure the PC version looked 10 times better than the Xbox One version, but I'm actually impressed with it. It actually makes me excited about Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, which I wasn't going to get, because the day it came out, but now I'm kind of thinking that maybe I will save up for it. I'm not sure when it's supposed to come out, but I may just end up saving up for it because, just the way this prologue, and this basically what it is a prologue, and I can't believe they charged however much they charged for this game prologue. I mean, it's relatively short. If you know where to go, what to do, you can probably do it in like an hour. And, you know, it's a prologue to a full game that's supposed to have other stuff that this one didn't have, that they was going to hold back on because they were like, well, you know, we could add these effects, but we're going to wait for the full game, the Phantom Pain. And, I mean, we all know who, well, I've been a fan of the game since, or the series, I should say, since the NES version, and I played both the NES versions. And then after playing the first one for the PlayStation, that, you know, many people got introduced to Snake through, and didn't know that he had 2 previous missions to take on the big boss. I liked how the series got where they explained who the big boss was and the connection to Big Boss and Snake, and of course Snake's brother. I think that was really cool. I like how they did that. I mean, I haven't played Metal Gear Rising, which I think is completely about Raiden. I have played Metal Gear Solid 4, and, you know, I'm kind of interested in seeing if Snake, Solid Snake, I guess I should call him, since Big Boss was originally called Naked Snake, goes the same lines as Big Boss. Because, you know, in the premiere game for Big Boss, Snake Eater, he goes to that whole thing where he has to take on his mentor. And, of course, she's called Big Boss, so you figure something bad is going to happen to her in order for him to get the title Big Boss from her. And that was exciting. And then you go through the, you know, and then it just makes even more sense when you play out the games. Like, what was it? Peace Walker, I think was the PSP version. I didn't do the portable ops. I think that's the only, well, Metal Gear Rising and portable ops, or virtual ops, or whatever that one was, are the only 2 I think I haven't played of the Metal Gear Solid games now. And I'm kind of eager to see where, you know, the storyline goes. I mean, I know Phantom Pain is a continuation of the Big Boss story, because I'm guessing that what they're trying to do is bring the game full circle and get it up to the point where, if you play the NES games, he actually takes on Big Boss. Solid Snake takes on Big Boss, because he becomes the new member of Foxhound. And he takes on Big Boss, and takes on Big Boss a multitude of times. So I'm wondering if they're trying to do the Big Boss thing and make it come full circle, and then lead back into Solid Snake and tell you what Solid Snake does, whether he decides to follow the path of his mentor and become a bad guy. And I mean, I know Solid Snake is played as the hero, and it's kind of funny that for the first time, I believe it is, I think it was Donald Kieflin or Sutherland. Yeah, my brain just went blank. Did the voice of Snake instead of Hyder, which is kind of interesting. I mean, since he pretty much has done the voice of every Snake since PlayStation, and now they change it up, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, it makes me wonder what the path for Solid Snake's gonna be. Well, yeah, I guess I could call him Snake, since Naked Snake becomes Big Boss. And after everything that has happened to him, especially after he parted ways, I'm not going to spoil everything for you in case you haven't played and you're interested. Since he parted ways and everything that has happened to him since, it's kind of interesting to, see if they do bring it full circle. Which, personally, I think that would be pretty cool if they did it where they brought it full circle and remade the first two Metal Gear Solids for the NES and did them with better graphics and maybe fix some of the awfulness that came with that game. Of course, I mean, I know, it was the 80s or 90s or whatever it is, because I forget when Metal Gear Solid came out on the PlayStation. But it would be really interesting to find out if they bring it full circle. I know I keep saying full circle, but, now that I've seen that and see, that, there's a prologue to something much bigger with a whole lot more stuff in it, I can only hope that they bring it full circle and make it, the whole realization of what Big Boss was trying to do and see what Snake does. Because I think that would be really cool. But yeah, I didn't talk much about the game. I mean, the gameplay pretty much like all other Metal Gear Solids. Your main objective is to sneak around. Because, it's called, I think it's, what is it, tactical espionage? Or stealth tactical espionage? I think there was stealth in there somewhere, but it was tactical espionage. So, yeah, I think that's, one thing that has always drawn the games to me is that, for the most part, hang on. Okay, sorry about that. I had to sneeze. But, I find it interesting that, the entire game is based on sneaking around and doing things stealthily as much as possible. And if you have to take out the enemy, the earlier games more so than the later games, I think. Because I think the later games don't really, care. But, use the trank guns. I mean, because in this one, you had a limited number of tranks that you could use to knock out the enemies. Of course, you could go around and get some more off of enemies and stuff and reload, just like you could do your main weapon. But this one seemed to not really care if you did, trank darts or guns. I mean, they give you a limited supply of the trank darts. So it's kind of like, So, yeah. I like the fact that, I prefer using the trank darts, and the earlier games seem to give you unlimited. And I guess this one just wanted to be harder. And you had to use your trank darts wisely. And, try not to use them so much and use them when necessary, which I didn't realize it was that kind of game. But hey, it works. And I mean, of course, since Big Boss lost his eye in Snake Eater, he's blind in one eye, and it's neat that they did the whole no stealth suit thing, like they pulled off, and I don't even think the suit in the original Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation, the stealth suit they tried to pull off in, see, what was it? It wasn't Guns of the Patriots. Was it Guns of the Patriots? No, I think Guns of the Patriots. Okay, my brain just went blank again. The second game. Because I think Metal Gear Solid 4 was Guns of the Patriots, or maybe it was Sons of the Patriots. I forget. Anyway, one of you guys out there knows it, and I'm just not willing to go and look it up on my PlayStation games to go find out the names, because I have them and I'm just lazy right now. And it's almost 9:30, so yeah. And it's Saturday, and I said I wasn't going to make any videos, but I figured, what the heck, I don't have to put them on YouTube. I can just make them about my experience with this wonderful Metal Gear Solid game, even though it's short. Very short. Especially if you know what to do. I liked how, the looks. I like how they give you the option to crawl with your gun, and you can crawl faster. I like the, I think it was in the other games, I like how the interrogation thing worked in this one. I didn't get a chance to try the close quarter combat, which is another, well, I think it really I think it was in all of them, but I think it was more applied in Snake Eater than any of the other ones, because in the other ones you have your trank gun and you can trank people, and I kind of miss the ideal that you can stuff people in the locker, which I think was an interesting concept, because I mean, seriously, you have it where in most games you can hide the people, and not have to worry about it. This one, you didn't really have anywhere to hide. You just had to go find a spot and drop them off and hope that one of the other guards didn't come around and go, oh, look. And the guards are still idiots. I mean, there was this one point in the game, well, actually several points, where I hid in a room with only one entrance and no way they could flank me, and they kept saying, flank them, and I'm thinking, how do you flank somebody in a room with one door? And of course they try to come through that door, and of course it'd be the end. I mean, I did that same technique with the hallway. You have a door over here and then the hallway here, and they come and bam, bam, and it was like, and then, of course, they'd be alerted, the other guard would be alerted because of the, but it's like, I mean, I was playing it on normal, and I'm sure harder would be harder, which is why they call it hard, but, yeah, I don't know, I mean, if it wasn't for stupidity and my mindset not being in the Metal Gear mindset, because with lots of games you want to have your mindset toward that game that you're playing, which Metal Gear is, stealth, and I wasn't playing that way. And if you play it that way, you have, well, I had a great time playing it, even though I wasn't in the stealth mind. But if you are in the stealth mind, you're, just, it's like, hey. But yeah, the game is great. The rain effect's cool. The enemy AI seem on normal, which I know is supposed to be challenging, but not all that hard. It was kind of stupid. I mean, it was like, really? And of course, yes, I did die, but, that was my fault, for rushing in. See, that's the other thing. You're supposed to hurry through it, but you're supposed to also take your time, and I kept trying to rush in too much. And as the saying goes, only fools rush in. Well, I'm the fool, because I tried to rush in. And that was my main problem. And I could have ended the game. I mean, I think after I found that door where the girl was supposed to be, I could have ended it right there, just grabbed her and escaped. But as I said, my patience was, not there, and I kept running away from it, and I knew where to go. Even though it said I couldn't pick the door because I guess I had enemies around. Or maybe you're supposed to have interrogated the enemies to find out where it is, or maybe not. I don't know if that's necessary. I'm going to have to try that on my next playthrough. But yeah, I mean, other than being relatively short, I do like that they have the Ride of the Valkyries in the game. That kind of fits it. It's kind of amazing that when you're playing it and you get to the ending and you watched all the way through the credits and you get the special bonus, like it's like an award for, which is what I like, is to be awarded for sitting through the entire credits. And due to the fact of what happened, you find out that Big Boss has been in a coma for 9 years. And I think the game took place in like the mid to late 70s. So now that he's awake, it's been it's in the 80s now, early 80s somewhere. I forget. Yeah, it's the early 80s to mid 80s, somewhere in there. And it's like, and then Phantom Pain. See, I'm kind of wondering, since Big Boss lost, I think it's his left hand, which I think it is, because it'd be hard to pull the trigger with, has a hook now, and that came into play, which is really cool. I think that Phantom Pain is going to be a really interesting step forward. But anyway, time's up. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Alligators.